It's the nerve center of the country, the cultural and political capital, and second largest city in Vietnam. I'm in Hanoi for the first time in 6 years, getting reacquainted and visiting some of the most important sites in one of my favorite places in Southeast Asia. Join me on this visit through walking streets, bustling markets, ancient landmarks, and paramount places of this amazing and fascinating city. I'm John Sabot, and these are my Far East travels. I'm back in Hanoi after a 6-year absence. My first visit was in 2016, and I've always stayed in the Old Quarter. I think for most of us, there's always hope that recalling memories will expedite familiarity with a place you visited in the past. For myself, this time is no exception, although there is more dust to brush away from those memories these days. I'm on my way to Hoan Kiem Lake, the social epicenter of the city. Where the people of Hanoi are always in motion, whether it's dancing, stretching, or martial arts.
My name is Nee, and what's your name? Is this the first time you come to Vietnam?
You think you're a little more shy?
Yeah, because we are afraid to make mistake, so we are shy. We don't want to try to do something because we afraid of mistakes.
At the time, I thought I was doing a pretty good job of getting to know the people of Vietnam. In reality, I hadn't even come close. The Turtle Tower, Hanoi's iconic symbol of freedom and victory. It is believed that here in the 15th century, Emperor Lê Loi returned a sword to the golden turtle god of the lake after driving Chinese forces out of Vietnam. Hoan Kiem is the lake of the returned sword. Even with traffic only a few steps away, it's remarkably easy to find peaceful spots here. And that's perhaps a good part of the lake's charm and attraction. Back in the Old Quarter, the layout is tight. I recall on my first visit feeling like movement was exaggerated due to the lack of space. Traffic, actually anything in motion, is intensified in this ancient part of the city. The mix of architecture, the 36 streets that feature various services and crafts is at times overwhelming, and to me has always felt like daily life is displayed on a giant moving stage here. Only a few of the 36 streets still sell the same items they made for the royals centuries ago. See if you can figure out which ones still sell the same stuff. No place is more busier than the streets around Dong Xuan Market. This is one of the largest wholesale markets in the north and is a constant buzz of activity from morning until night. I like this to be my local market because it's just so big and cool, and strangely enough, I can walk around here and barely be noticed. And there's the best food available everywhere you look. But in this video, I'm not going to focus on street food. More about that later. Like I said, my apologies. I'm not going to talk about egg coffee or Obama Boonshaw in this video. You can find thousands of them on this platform that do that. Instead, I'm going to show you one of the best vegetarian-vegan restaurants in Vietnam, U Dam Chai. With an enchanting atmosphere of peace and serenity, U Dam Chai is frequently visited by heads of state, including the now former Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, who stopped by earlier this year. My three-course dinner cost approximately 540,000 Vietnamese dong, or about $23 US, including non-alcoholic drinks. Everything was cooked perfectly with the finest local ingredients. The food was honest, authentic, and quite astonishing. For proof, here's a crunch replay for you to demonstrate how perfect these square spring rolls were. The stewed green bananas were sublime, accompanied by other vegetables in a thick, rich broth. You won't miss the meat, and you'll love the food experience U Dam Chai serves. Traffic is closed off for the streets around Hoan Kiem Lake on the weekends. There's always a little excitement and sometimes anxiety, though, for vendors, but for some of them, it's all in a day's work. And everything returns to normal in no time. Whew, that was close. Hey folks, if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button for when the latest videos are uploaded. Help me live the fantasy life everyone else seems to enjoy on this platform. I can easily see why a walk around Hoan Kiem Lake can fit into your daily ritual if you live here. I'm fortunate that this happens to be a very pleasant day after unsettled weather for a few weeks prior to my arrival. At the heart of the lake and a popular place to visit for tourists and locals is Nok Son Temple. Even more popular is the Hook or Red Bridge, which you'll need to cross in order to visit the islet the pagoda is situated on. There's also a small admission fee. As it's considered a sacred place, there is a dress code of non-revealing clothing. Make sure your knees and shoulders are covered. The temple honors a Taoist deity who brings wealth and happiness to scholars and a general who defeated the Mongols in the 13th century. Kind of sums up Vietnam in a way, sacred and strong. As significant as this temple is, it's the bridge where you'll find most people gathering for the perfect portrait or selfie.
Chị ba chụp tốt cho con cái chị ba. Thôi đừng có chụp ảnh nào không ơi.
Even having not visited Hanoi in several years, the sense of calm around the walking streets of the Hoan Kiem Lake area reminds me of why I fell in love with this city. Hanoi has its challenges like any metropolis in Southeast Asia, but these walking streets sure make things more livable. So I think these walking streets are absolutely brilliant, giving people a break from the hustle and bustle of the city during the week. On the weekends here is just what a big city like this needs. Now, if you're a foreigner coming here, just expect that you're going to get asked by a lot of groups that are trying to practice English, anywhere from almost pretty much any age group, actually. And it's really fun. It's a fun way to engage with local people. But why I'm sitting in this little corner here right now is just taking a little bit of a break because I've talked to 4 different groups in the span of about a half hour already today. And voila, I have another person I get to practice English with today. Say hi.
Hi. And what is your name?
My name's John.
John.
I think sometimes it's really hard to explain why or how you make a connection with a place or city. I'm finding it hard to put into words why exactly I somehow feel a little more connected here than other places. Sometimes words just don't express or can't express how we feel. Whatever it is, I'm syncing with the vibe here, feeling like I'm getting it, and off to some of the most significant sights of Hanoi. I'm stopping by Hanoi's famous Train Street first. It's interesting how the strangest things that are necessary and everyday to some can turn into a tourist attraction for others. It's a narrow street in a neighborhood next to the old quarter where trains happen to pass through a narrow passageway between houses. Like everything else here, space is at a premium, and these locals have turned it into a business. I'm not sure when the next train is coming, but I'm thoroughly entertained by one of the guards whistling and chasing the curious away from the tracks. It's never been about the train. It's the people, how they live and interact every day, that's always been fascinating to me. In the early part of his life, he was known as Nguyen Tat Thien. It's here in Ba Dinh Square, the enlightened one, Ho Chi Minh, declared independence from France on September 2nd, 1945, establishing the Democratic Republic of Vietnam. It's also where his body has remained on display in the mausoleum constructed for him in 1975. Just a few steps away from the Ho Chi Minh Mausoleum, you'll find the One-Pillar Pagoda. First established in 1045, the One-Pillar Pagoda and the Perfume Temple are considered Vietnam's two most iconic temples. Still another few steps away, the Ho Chi Minh Museum. The museum is dedicated to Ho Chi Minh and the country's historic struggles against foreign powers. A 15-minute walk from Ba Dinh Square is one of Hanoi's most important sites and tourist attractions, the Temple of Literature. Dedicated to Confucius and at one time the host of the Imperial Academy, Vietnam's first university. There won't be a day that goes by without at least several groups visiting for photos. It's a vast complex of 5 courtyards spread out over 54,000 square meters. And if it's your first time to Southeast Asia or Vietnam, it's a stunning introduction to the culture of the region. The temple was built in 1070 and was rebuilt during the Chan Dynasty of 1220 to 1400. There have been numerous restorations since, the last one in 2000. The construction of stone stelae and blue stone turtles began in 1484 to honor talent and encourage studies. The turtle is a symbol of longevity and wisdom. The university fell out of favor as the Imperial Academy when the Nguyen emperors established the capital of Hue in 1802, where the Imperial Academy was re-established. Well, I'd like to say at this point that I'm reflecting on the history of the Temple of Literature and how it's such a significant cultural landmark of the North. And I truly am, but I have to be honest, I'm also thinking about what would be my last meal in Hanoi on this trip, at the sister restaurant of U Dam Chai, Sadu, a vegetarian-vegan buffet-style restaurant where for a mere 286,000 Vietnamese dong or $12 US, you don't crowd around a table with large serving bowls jostling to pile on what's ever left. You actually order anything you want off the menu until you can't stand up if you so desire. It's an extraordinary experience. One last swing through the French Quarter at night. I missed seeing the iconic outdoor fans at the Hotel Metropole whirling away, but with the cooler evenings in Hanoi, they're just not needed at this time of year. Though that's not stopping the crowds from indulging in one of Hanoi's favorite pastimes around Hoan Kiem Lake, an ice cream from Cam Chan Tien. The cooler nights make it perfect for rollerblading or just sitting around stacking Jenga blocks with your friends. Anything is possible when you give people a safe place to meet and play. Just enjoying another awesome walk this morning here in Hanoi around Hoan Kiem Lake. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up please. More videos from East Asia, Southeast Asia, and South Asia. So if you do enjoy the videos here on the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications. If you really want to support the channel, you can also make a donation. There's 2 links in the video description below. Check those out. Anything, everything, always appreciated. Thanks again. Peace, love, and safe travels. This is John Sabeau from Hanoi, Vietnam.